lot of people having a great time in undergrad. That's the time when you're supposed to fuck up and be all collegiate and whatnot. But I see tons of undergrads, especially in Spain over the summer. All them sons of bitches come out here and lose their shit. Predominate, it is a word, right?
Yeah.
You said that and I went predominate. That doesn't sound like a word.
It sounds like somebody hodgepodged and hobbled together multiple words to make this word.
I boycotted college juniors over them changing their form.
Mostly tentative and loose, but
just like we like it.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my ex-girlfriend. She was tentative and loose. We were talking about, we can go ahead and chop it up now. I'm a firm believer that Europe does a lot of things better than the U.S. It's as spread out as those places are. You come further west, it's just way big swaths of fucking. People love it. People love those large swaths of nothing.
Want cruise information, tips, tours, and more? Check out cruisehabit.com/BSDN. Please, it's all I know anything about.
What is going on, everybody? You big, sexy, digital nomads, world travelers, you wonderful ass people, whatever you are. You got that bag, baby. You know that. Everyone's probably making bag. That's right. I'm pre-recording this episode because I know I've got some time. I'll probably be incommunicado. And of course, big sexy in Europe, so travel is complicated. Here he is. Your host, Big Sexy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this is hitting your ear holes. I hope that it is good. This is a bank episode because I know we got some travels coming up soon, a lot of moving around, and we want to be sure to be able to drop another quality episode while in the midst of all that chaos. With the asterisk on the word quality, because IYK.
I don't know.
IYK. If you know, you know.
I'm saying that I don't know.
You don't know. I know. But we know.
Do we?
Because we do. Because the asterisk is definitely on the quality.
So speaking of quality, because we don't really have, I know that we've discussed some things that we're going to discuss in this episode, but time does not matter. Quality. One of the things I've mentioned that there are things that I mentioned this on the most recent episode that we recorded. It's certainly not back to back with this one, but scroll back to probably 94 or something like that, maybe 95 to hear me kind of starting to anticipate food in Rochester, New York, when I go up there for the Fringe Festival. The number one place, I think, for me on this list, and none of these are like exceptional high-end places, okay? Let me tell you, when I lived in Rochester, New York, through those dark undergrad years, and when I say dark, I'm talking about ice and snow and all that other shitty weather, plus it's undergrad. Who's having a great time at undergrad? Not
Well, I think a lot of people are having a great time in undergrad. That's the time when you're supposed to fuck up and be all collegiate and whatnot. But I see tons of undergrads, especially in Spain over the summer. All them sons of bitches come out here and lose their shit. And I mean, also in Vegas.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I had good times, but like overall, it was like, man, you should have done things differently back then.
It's different when you look back. That is true. It's different when you look back. I mean, although I didn't quite have that same undergrad experience because my old ass went to undergrad later in life. You know, I went to my initial undergrad was junior college, and I was in there for I was in a 2-year program for 5 years. And then, because I thought I knew everything.
Of course.
And then I left there and fuck school and went into the workforce. And then, I was a childcare worker for 6 years before I decided to go back to school and get my bachelor's degree, which took me another 4.5 years to get.
Gotta love it. I took a scenic route in undergrad as well, and then blasted through law school because it was kind of like, oh, you belong here, get this done. But yeah, this restaurant, it's like this little burger place in a town called Seabreeze, and I think that the actual town is called Irondequoit, but the area is Seabreeze, called Don's Original, and they've got this slogan, this big sign that says where quality predominates. And for the longest time, I wasn't even sure if that was a word. I knew what it meant, what they were saying, but I'm like, did they make this fucking word up? But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this place, getting back there. I have checked because it's kind of one of those that I alluded to. I'm like, I know there's going to be some things that aren't there anymore that I was looking forward to, but I trolled their asses. There was a post on their social media not too long ago because I think they're open seasonally. It's like a summer place.
I'll say, did you check to make sure they're still open?
Or actually, no, I think they're open year round, but because there's like this water park, amusement park thing called Seabreeze that's like just a couple blocks away from them. Summer's a very, very popular time. So there was a post on their social media not too long ago saying that they were starting to take applicants for the summer of 2024. And I'm like, fuck yeah, this is 2024, which means that post is live. That post is active. There is a pulse. Quality will predominate for me in September.
Yeah. Predominate. It is a word, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You said that and I went predominate. That doesn't sound like a word.
It doesn't. It sounds like somebody hodgepodged and hobbled together multiple words to make this word.
To make something sound more important than it might be.
Yeah.
Where quality predominates.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're not stealing logos. And we're not, I don't know, quality predominates here. Shenanigans predominate.
If you go to donsoriginal.com, it's right there front and center where quality predominates. And this place looks identical from this photo to when I last visited this place, which was over 20 years ago. And it's just a little burger stand, a burger shop with, like one of the big old school countertop things. What you can't see in that picture from that counter. Well, no, you can see it if you scroll down to the lower pictures that there's also like a row of booths up against a window, but like not a really.
What the hell am I looking at? I'm looking at one of this. I scroll down and they got a sandwich that is bread and meat, but there's sauce in the sandwich and sauce on top of the sandwich.
I don't know that I've ever ordered that particular sandwich, but maybe I will to see if they put the sauce on top, or maybe I'll ask.
I mean, listen, I'm showing a picture to the screen. There's a picture of it.
Oh yeah. No, I'm on the website too, so I can see what you're talking about.
Well, yeah. I'm doing that for the viewers.
Oh yeah.
That's insane. The menu looks decent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. They got some stuff. They got some things that I would check out if I were here. And I always get worried about places that sell like a whole lot of food. Because like, oh, that means you do everything all right.
Yeah.
You don't specialize
in like one thing. I don't like their politics, but I like their business acumen. Chick-fil-A. They legitimately have one thing on the menu. Now you can get that one thing a couple different ways.
Different varieties.
It's a chicken sandwich, okay?
Right.
But hold my beer. Let me go slice. Now it's chicken tenders. Nope. slice again. Oh, nuggies. But it's
Yep.
one fucking menu item.
One
One
got
menu
chicken.
item. Oh, and
You're gonna get chicken fillet in one way or another.
And I know they branched out. There's a quote unquote grilled version.
Right. I heard they're supposed to. I'm trying to remember. I heard that they were looking at doing burgers actually, or like Impossible Burgers, or Impossible Chicken, like something that seemed like why stay in your lane.
Yeah, I think that you would have been sometime around April 1st for
Maybe.
you to see that they were putting burgers on the menu, because their
Maybe.
whole
They're nothing but chicken.
Their whole marketing thing is that they've got cows out there with signs encouraging people to eat more chicken.
Eat more chicken.
You know, they want you to believe that cows are killing chickens to run that restaurant and save their own hide.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah. I can't eat the hate chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No hate. Do they got hate chicken over in Europe?
No.
No.
I'm not seeing a Chick-fil-A whatsoever down here. No, or In-N-Out. There's no In-N-Out here either. At least not in Spain.
In-N-Out is still only on the West Coast, as far as I know.
Yeah, they're branching out a little bit. I think there's some in the South as well. Yeah, I think. Listeners, let us know. Write in and let us know where all the In-N-Out burgers are. Are you an In-N-Out guy? Do you like In-N-Out?
No, I don't dislike it.
It's just a burger joint.
It does not live up to the hype.
No, I wouldn't to this day never understand why there are lines of vehicles wrapped around corners to eat at this basic ass burger stand.
Yeah, because that's all it is, and there's like Bible scriptures written on the bottom of their cups too, which is
right. Again, marketing, genius. They have all of 12 menu items. They
got as many secret menu items as they have.
They got more secret items than they have on the menu.
Yeah,
which I think is neat, but also fucking irritating. You gotta hear about it and then research. And I'm sure there's a website that gives you all of their secret menu items that you can ask for. It's just put it on the fucking menu.
So I went to I when I was doing business to business, door to door sales and marketing right after undergrad. So we're talking about 2005, 2006 kind of time frame. I won this award that sent me to this conference that was in Los Angeles. And I want to say it might have been the first time. I'm trying to think through the timeline. That very well may have been the first time that I traveled to the West Coast at all. It was not the first time I had been out of the Eastern time zone, and I could be missing something from earlier, but it was probably my first time to California for sure. It definitely was not my first time to the Pacific time zone. Now that I remember, I went to Las Vegas in undergrad numerous times, so obviously that cancels that out. Again, it was just a matter of me thawing some of the ice in my memory. I remember when, like, one of the managers with the group that I was working with was like, the cult frenzy that comes from In-N-Out Burger being like, you got to go to this place. It's effing amazing. You need to order, animal style, blah, 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 blah. And, at that point in time, I got caught up in kind of the cult frenzy element of it.
The hype. Yeah.
And it's not bad. It's just not.
No, it's good. I mean, it's a decent burger. I think it's overpriced for a burger.
To an In-N-Out, or if you go to their website, I guarantee you there's not a sign that says that this is where quality predominates, because that is Don's original. Right. So I remember after that taking a trip out to California with my mother some years later and being like, we've got to go to this place. And we went there, and then it was a big gap in time. And the next time after that I think that I ever ate it In-N-Out was on probably in like 2016 or 2017, the one that's in that alleyway between the Link and the Flamingo. And that was the light bulb moment where I was like, this isn't even that fucking good. And that was probably drunk me eating that burger, being like, why did we wait in this goddamn line for this?
You wait in a long ass line. You probably spend about $25 to get 2 burgers and fries and drinks, and the fries aren't that great, dude. I hate In-N-Out fries.
Fries are a matter of preference. You know, some people
love
shoestring fries, and the In-N-Out burger fries are going to be for you. What's your ideal fry?
Del Taco crinkle cut.
Okay.
That's my number one favorite fry, Del Taco crinkle cut. Next would be McDonald's is a good classic. The McDonald's fries, because they add crack to their fries, so
it's true.
So McDonald's and Wiener Schnitzel have the same kind of fries, so those are tied neck to neck. And then Arby's curly fries. Really? Yeah, I love Arby's curly fries. The way they're seasoned, they're delicious. The funny thing is, though, you can't eat too many of them because eventually it just turns to paste in your mouth. But initially hot out the gate, and you put them on the burger, chef's kiss.
So you and I are on different coasts when it comes to eating fries, because
but last but not least, my to finish out my top 5. Fuddruckers potato wedges.
Okay.
I like a good potato wedge instead of a fry. Yeah.
I am hand cut all the way. So I'm talking about the ones that you'll get at Five Guys. Those are totally in my wheelhouse. The Wendy's ones are a bad attempt at doing hand cut, because the thing is that you can't freeze those bad boys. You blanch them to make them right, which is part of the process. But if you're doing them right, you're doing them fresh every day.
Right.
Which I'm pretty sure is happening at Five Guys. And I'm blanking on who else has fries like that. But that's the way I want them. I want them, that hand cut. There might still be some skin on there.
hand cut fresh fries.
Has that changed?
No, that's still their model. They still have the fresh cut.
For some reason, I was always getting like those little shitty shoestring ones.
There. I mean, they're small and shitty, but they're still fresh cut.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They're not the thicker fresh cut. Like Carl's Jr. now has thicker fresh cut fries.
Okay.
Speaking of Carl's Jr. Let's take me down memory lane. Right out of high school, I boycotted Carl's Jr. over them changing their fries.
Really?
They had a cornmeal fry that was kind of like a cross between Arby's curly fries and Del Taco's crinkle cut. So they were crinkle cut fries, but they were battered in a different type of seasoning, and I fucking love those. Those were my number one fries forever. Then right around, it was in the early 90s, when everybody was trying to be McDonald's fries, they changed their fries. And I was so upset. I wrote a letter to the company complaining. I boycotted Carl's Jr. for like a good 3 or 4 years. Because the response letter only came back, sorry, but we made business changes, Here's a coupon for, fuck you, I don't want your coupon. Bring me my fucking fries back. Or give me the name of the person who supply your fries, and I'll just buy directly from them. Oh, I was heated. I still get heated now just thinking about it. It's like right now I want to boycott Arby's because they got rid of their potato cakes.
Oh, yeah?
And Arby's potato cakes were amazing. It's like a McDonald's hash browns, but thicker.
Okay, I don't know that I've ever had one then.
Oh, man.
But I guess I'm not having one because
triangle potatoes, but they were thick. They were really good. Like I like putting like fries and stuff on my burgers, and so I would like take the potato cake, cut it in half, spread it out, and put it on my Arby's roast beef sandwich. Man, I fucking love that. We need a fatty rabbit hole drop right about here because we're definitely on a food tangent.
oh yeah.
But yeah, man, I loved those Carl's Jr. fries.
What are the fast? Do they have a lot of fast food chains in Spain? Let's start there.
I've only seen McDonald's and Burger King.
Okay. There aren't
And
any like local,
KFC.
and I don't mean
What-
local, I mean like domestic, because those are all obviously American companies.
American. Oh, you mean like Spanish fast food?
Right.
I'm gonna say yes, but I couldn't tell you what they were
Okay.
because I've seen chains of restaurants like, oh, there's another one of these here, right? So I've seen that, but I don't know that I haven't really eaten any per se, and then again, most of the chain stuff are Americanized.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
seen the Popeyes, I've seen the KFC, I've seen, like I said, Carl's Jr., McDonald's, and Burger King.
So you've seen Carl's Jr. in Spain.
Yes, although the Carl's Jr. that I saw in Spain closed down.
I'm
what-
curious because in the States, Carl's Jr. is a West Coast thing.
It is very much so.
And if you come to the East Coast, you will see exactly the same restaurant with exactly the
Hardee's.
same food called Hardee's. Exactly.
Hardee's, right.
So I wonder what determines, okay, we're in this region, we're going to be Carl's Jr. And in that region, we're going to be Hardee's. And then, oh, look, down the street, there's still a Roy Rogers.
Right. Right. Exactly. The one in Spain was Carl's Jr. and they advertised California burgers.
Okay.
Right. So in big neon lights it said California burgers. And fuck were they overpriced.
Well, it's I mean, fast food these days, you can get real food for the same price that you can go get fast food. So
I
like,
can
what's
get
the benefit?
real food cheaper here.
Right.
That's better for you than I can at fast food. Like even at McDonald's, McDonald's, luckily, like what I get at McDonald's is just their basic ass hamburger with, no mustard, no onions, only ketchup, only pickles, their fries, and I might splurge. I'll tell you what they do have. They do have the good old fried apple pies.
Ooh.
That McDonald's got rid of and KFC got rid of. Which I couldn't find anywhere. Popeye still has them, but they cover it a lot of cinnamon and sugar, so it's like, just give me the apple pie. But they have those fried apple pies here in Spain. Oddly enough, when we were in Romania, they only had fried cherry.
Interesting.
They didn't have fried apple, and here they don't have fried cherry. They only have fried apple.
So in the wild in Egypt, we observed, didn't patronize, but observed at least numerous McDonald's, apparently KFC, super popular in Egypt. Definitely saw some Pizza Huts and Burger Kings. There was a Burger King. Actually, this is interesting. There was a Burger King in the airport in Cairo, and there is this jingle that Burger King does here in, at least regionally for me, that for the longest time, you know how when you hear we actually did a thing on here about hearing certain things that you're not really hearing what they're saying, right?
Right.
Or and we saw it in the example of replaying this video, and when you have a different reference point, you hear something totally different. But
right.
For the life of her, there's this jingle that Burger King has, and my wife used to always think, and still does, I think, arguably, think that they are talking about a chicken Whopper. And when we go to Burger King, there is no chicken Whopper. There are chicken sandwiches, but there is not something on there specifically called the chicken Whopper. Well, we roll up to this Burger King in the airport in Cairo, and on that motherfucking menu, was chicken Whopper, and it was like, hey, you need to see this with your own eyes. Took pictures of it, ordered that bad boy, beef only today. So disappointed. That was just like taking the balloon and just all the air out of it all at once.
They have chicken Whoppers here in Spain.
By name?
By name. Called a chicken Whopper.
Okay.
And the McDonald's have chicken Big Macs.
Interesting.
Called by name. They also, what's crazy is the different menu items. One, you can get a beer at a McDonald's out here.
Interesting.
You can also they have chicken wings.
Ooh.
And they're fucking good. Like, I was skeptical at first. I said, well, let me see. There's only 4 in a pack. I said, well, let me see. And I got it. And then I'm like, okay, these are not bad. These are not bad. Kind of pricey in my opinion for 4 chicken wings, but still tasty. So sometimes I'll get a couple burgers and the chicken wings and an apple pie and a small fry and call it a hangover night. That's what I'm going. This is just bar food. This is just, had I been out drinking, this is what I get. But I try to, few and far between, try to eat unhealthy because you can eat so healthy here. Like my wife right now is making homemade tomato sauce or tomato pasta sauce, with fresh tomatoes and onions and, seasoning and all that kind of stuff, all fresh. Now I like it, but I don't like it because tomatoes have seeds.
Mm-hmm.
And the seeds don't ever break down. They just remain in the sauce. And so when you eat the sauce, you'll get a tomato seed. And I hate that. I hate chewing on the sauce and having to spit out seeds.
Yeah.
But it's a small price to pay to have really fresh tomato sauce. And actually what I'm looking forward to is not just the pasta, but I also brought baguette style bread. My wife calls it the crusty bread out here. So it's really good. But I'm looking forward to taking a slice of that, cutting it in half the long way, and making like French bread pizza with her tomato sauce, some mozzarella cheese. I bought some pepperoni, pop that shit in the oven, and try some French bread pizza while we're here in Nerja.
Remind me, October through May. Is that when you're in Cadiz?
Cadiz, correct. October 1st through May 31st. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then hopefully we'll be in Malaga. We're looking to try to get to Malaga 1 or 2 weeks beforehand to spend some time in Malaga, see some friends or whatever, and then shoot our way over to Cadiz. We're trying to map out, leaving stuff here. And then what are we taking? What are we bringing back from the United States? My goal is to not bring back equal to whatever we leave here because that's just a whole bunch of shit that we got to move. However, we are going someplace and be there long term. But my thought process is, we don't have to bring stuff that we can buy.
Of course, yeah. Well, I'm just asking about that because I know that. So my wife is aware that I have had interest, but not necessarily time to come visit in Spain. Now that I've dropped the chicken Whopper knowledge on her, she may be perked up to be like, so when we go into Spain, that stretch of time is a bigger target. So,
right.
Especially since booking wise, I'm booked into November anyway. So, and I've got a bunch of shit on the calendar in 2025 already. That's mostly tentative and loose, but,
just like we like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reminds me of my ex-girlfriend. She was tentative and loose.
Yeah. Gotta get back to Europe and experience its niceness.
Yeah. I tell you, we've been talking about it. We should go ahead and chop it up now. I'm a firm believer that Europe does a lot of things better than the US.
Yeah.
A lot. And there are a few things that the U.S. does better than Europe. Most of it bad for you. Right? I mean, There's no hostess out here. There are hostess-like desserts. I have found, the European equivalent to a Twinkie. It's not a Twinkie, but I've had it, right? But a lot of the things out here, I find like this just makes more sense. It's taking some getting used to some adjustments, right? Like the hardest one to adjust to, or the taking a minute to adjust to, are the floors of buildings. Because in the
because they
US,
start on 0.
it starts on 0.
Yeah.
Right. The floors in the US start on 1 or ground.
Yeah.
And then the next floor up is the second floor. Well, technically, no, it's not. It's the first floor up from the ground level.
Yeah.
And that's what Europe goes. Nope, it's the first floor up, which fucked me up on our first day in Malaga. First 2 days in Malaga, because as my listeners recall, worst 2 days of my travel to date, because the hotel we stayed in, the lobby was on the first floor, which sounds great until you realize the first floor is up a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
And we had all that baggage. We had to log all that shit up a flight of fucking stairs because it did not have an elevator. But I digress. So starting floors at 0, much better. I think the 24-hour clock is better. There's no confusion if you forget the PM or AM.
The number of times that I'm setting an alarm, and I set that alarm for PM and not AM, baffles
me. Exactly. You're like, oh man, why did my alarm wake up? And you check it and it was set for PM. It wasn't set for AM. It's fucking frustrating. So I think the 24-hour, and when you make plans with somebody, okay, we'll meet at 1500. Now I still got to do the fucking math in my head.
Of course.
Because, I was raised in the States, but we have to have fun, especially when you and I meet or we have to do any kind of communication with folks back in the US. I have to do the travel math. I go, okay, so Judge Mentalist is 6 hours behind me, which means that if it is 2 p.m. there, 2 plus 6. So, no, 2 p.m. is 14. 14 plus 6 is 20. That's 8 p.m. I do that kind of fucking math in my head all the time. Now, luckily, I'm starting to get the shorthand and starting to realize, but it fucks me up occasionally because you're 6 hours, but the West Coast is 9 hours. Right. So oftentimes when we're talking, I will do a 9-hour translation. I go, no, wait, it's only 6 hours. It's only 6 hours. Because time is a construct and it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. Whew.
I think the price being the price is probably my favorite thing that Europe does better than the US.
Okay.
If I go to the store, and I did it yesterday, I went to the Mercadona and I add up everything that I put in my cart, and the total was €31.28. And I got to the register and they measured it and they tallied up everything. It was €31.28. I didn't have to calculate for tax. I didn't have to calculate for some things have tax and some things don't. The price
here
you
in the US, there are states that have 0 sales tax. There are the biggest problem that I have in the US with that, other than getting taxed on money that I've already been taxed on, but it's the fact that there's no consistency. Okay.
Right.
Delaware, no sales tax, which is like right across the way from me. New Hampshire, no sales tax. Like you mentioned, some states, some things have sales tax, some don't. Some states like New York and Illinois, which is where Chicago is, for those of you who are, foreign and don't know the states or just don't know the states. Those are 2 states as an example. And I know this because I live there. So there are probably others where there is a percentage of the sales tax that the state mandates. And that's a certain number. And then each county has their own sales tax. And those 2 add up. And you're only seeing one number on the bill. But like if you're in
Still.
one county, like for example, Cook County, which is where Chicago is, that sales tax might be 11%. Whereas if you go out west, the sales tax might only be like
8.5%.
right, or something.
California now 8.5%. I remember living in California, and the sales tax just kept taking up and up and up and up. I remember when it used to be 5%. I loved it at 5% because that was easy math.
Yeah.
You know, I take whatever 10% was and cut it in half, and I can do 10% in my head, and then I can cut it in half in my head. Easy peasy. It got to be like 7.5%, 8%. I'm like, fuck, that math is not easy. Now it's like 8.5%. I just go, fuck it, it's 10%. And then it is what it is. Also, I liked it when it was 7.5%, because then your tip, which is something else that Europe does better than the US, the tip was just double tax, which made it very easy to figure out. But I also love no tipping. There's just not a thing here, at least not in Spain. You know, and it's because they pay their waiters and they pay their wait staff a living fucking wage. I mean, kinda.
The
That's cost of living in Spain is tough, right? It's getting harder because, especially in Malaga, because a hot spot for tourists, and us nomads are starting to flood Malaga and bringing our, inflated dollars, which are inflating the Spanish economy, which Spaniards can't afford to pay, which is a whole nother topic of Spanish economy that if listeners want to hear, I'll be happy to research and get into that for you. But right now, I'm just part of the problem. Yeah, but soon I'll be living in Cadiz, and I'll be looking to pay those Spanish prices.
Hey, if we're going on that tangent about stuff that comparing Europe to the U.S., public transportation is probably top of my list. Like
you have no idea the multitude of times I was upset when I was back in California because I couldn't go somewhere or do anything because I didn't have a car. The bus system is trash. There is no real train system. Like, you have to get a car to get to public transportation. It was massively disappointing.
I told the story about, and this is the thing, like, and you see people skew stuff all the time in their perception of things. Like, we're going to see this later this year in November, the outlay of the US map with red and blue on it, right?
Oh, right.
And the thing that people love to not tell you is that there are big swatches where there are no fucking people. Like, I don't know, anything north of Clark County in Nevada until you get to Reno, or the entire state of Wyoming except for the city of Cheyenne. Right. I remember, I think I told part of this story about my cross-country journey when my buddy decided he was going to move to Oregon, literally the day I broke my foot, right? So one of the cities that we drove through was Cheyenne, Wyoming. And at the time, and this is, keep in mind, this was like 2005. So who knows what it looks like now, although something, you know what? We've got a listener because I just mailed stuff to Cheyenne. So I think it's Galen Diggs. I think Galen Diggs is in Cheyenne. So tell me, is this like, does it still look like old school Western town when you drive through this city? There are,
because it did in 2000.
Okay,
so that's when me and my friend JT, shout out to JT Orr,
and I want to say that 05 or 06 was when I was rolling through. I don't remember exactly. It might have even been 07, something like that.
So Galen, shout out. Does the Cheyenne, Wyoming look any more modern, or does it still look like an old ass Western town?
But I don't know what the numbers are today, but there's less than 600,000 people that live in this state. 550,000 of which live in or around Cheyenne. So it's like everybody's right here. And then anybody else outside of there is just, sparsed through. There are no substantial populations outside of that major city in that state. It's all just that state.
Yeah, it's crazy. The population of Cheyenne is 64,610. I'm gonna look at Wyoming population.
Oh, the numbers have definitely changed since I was last there. Then,
and the Wyoming population is only 581,381.
So how many are in Cheyenne?
65,000.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, okay. I remember it being different than that, like a bigger chunk. Maybe that is in the city, incorporated city proper, and doesn't include like suburbs. No, now I'm here. Now you got me looking this shit up. I'm gonna go here and try to answer my own questions. Does this still look like an old timey Western town? They've got a bull statue in Cheyenne.
I wonder if it has a starfish butthole.
So this one's got its 1 foot down and it's like bucking its back legs. So I don't know that there's a good angle that you could see the 5-hole.
I tell you what, if it does have one, that was a dedicated sculptor.
Yeah. But maybe that's an answer that can come from our friend out there. Yeah, there's definitely old-timey elements to everything I'm seeing here.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah. I'm really
large swath of nothing, and then that's the United States. The United States is a large swath of nothing.
Yeah. Well, except no. On the East Coast, in the Mid-Atlantic, it's pretty damn dense.
You're right. I'm sorry. It's a large swath of nothing with a bunch of dense spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're coming east to west, it starts fucking dense, but shit gets spread out. I mean, there are wide swaths of Georgia and Florida that's just expansive swamp and nothing but land, south there's forests, all that. As spread out as those places are, you come further west, it's just way, way big swaths of fucking nothing. People love it. People love those large swaths of nothing. But then you hit a major city, and then there's hustle and bustle. Then it spans out again. But Europe is like city next to city next to city next to city. They have large expanses of space as well. But fuck, they have multiple trains that travel these.
Yeah, you can get places in Europe.
Yeah, so definitely public transportation is huge. Plus, the cost of transportation is also really nice. Like you can catch a flight from Spain to Amsterdam for like €40 one way.
You could take the Channel to Paris from London for around that price, or starting at that price, I think.
Right.
Exactly. Blew my mind. If there wasn't so much to do and we had never been to London before, I would have actually looked more into this. But my wife and we're, I guess, both big Disney people, there was an inkling of thought that said, I know that this thing exists. Let me look into it. Could we go do Euro Disney for a day? It was a waste of time. It didn't make sense because there's so much new stuff to see in London.
Right.
First time there, only 4 days I didn't even tell her I was thinking about that. It was that quick of a thought in my head.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have a feeling we may check out Euro Disney when we're in Cadiz. Because again, the cheap flight over.
Yeah.
We just find a sitter for the dog, fly over to France, and visit Euro Disney. There is a Euro Disney trash bin in Benalmadena, which was very surprising as I was taking the bus. It's kind of near the bus station up in the train station in Benalmadena. But I'm looking, I'm like, is that a giant Mickey head? Oh yeah, it's a trash bin, but it says, it's like, at first I thought it was like, a bootleg Disney, because there's a lot of bootleg Disney.
Yeah, of course, everywhere.
Out here. There's a lot of bootleg Disney. But this was a branded Disney trash bin. I was like, okay, that interesting. But again, it didn't get me thinking about Euro Disney, so I guess the marketing is working. Yeah, so I can't wait to go. But that is the other thing the U.S. does better than Europe is theme parks.
I haven't been to any in Europe. Obviously, I haven't done the Disney yet. I'm definitely interested in doing so at some point in time. I haven't made specific plans to. It's just, oh man, I'll tell you. I was actually commiserating. I was having a conversation with a musician friend of mine about the bar gigs that they do, because I wouldn't mind approaching some bars that have some extra space, those side rooms or whatever, about doing hypnosis there on a monthly basis on like an off night, like a Tuesday or Wednesday.
Nice.
And it was kind of one of those, I really need to come out and see you perform. And that was like, it goes both ways. And it's like, yeah, my schedule's kind of fucked, and so is yours, because we're out booking ourselves, and it really sucks the life out of your ability to go and take a, just be like, oh, let's just go to Paris for a week or whatever it is.
Right.
Where's there a week,
Right. Well, let's do this for it. No, we don't have that. You want to do this for a month? We don't have a month. But this for a week, we don't have a week. And then what's the point for going for 4 days?
Yeah.
Or 3 days? You get there, you recover, you see something, you come right back. Not enough time. So yeah, so those are a few of the things that I think that Europe does better than the US.
Speaking of the deficiencies of the US, we got some new swag that by the time this episode drops will be up in the shop. That's Wear, WEAR. Like, you're going to put these clothes on, is bigsexy.com. The trend is out there. I've seen some ads for these. They look like campaign t-shirts, except we did one that says Bernardo Judge 24, make amazement great again. So if you want one of those shirts, if you're looking for that third-party ticket option, we might be your guys. Don't actually vote for us. That's stupid. But wear the shirt, get the shirt. And when people ask you what the hell it is or who are these guys, tell them to go to betweentwominds.com we're at the time of this recording, we're at the halfway mark in 2024. Earlier this year, we set a goal to raise $100,000 for nonprofits through our shows. We're at about 40K, which is awesome for the halfway point.
Oh, good. That's not bad at all.
Especially because we've shifted our business model to where we and our team are taking over selling some of the sponsorships. So what we should be able to raise for groups should be higher per show than it was when we launched this thing. So even though we're not quite halfway to the target number, when we're halfway into the year, I think we are well on our way to hitting that number, which is awesome. So feel free to spread the word and tell people about it. While we are actively booking in November, there are places that we could squeeze stuff in. I know Smitty Scoop contacted me about doing something in August, which is I'm confirming dates, and that may happen. That's going to be me doing a solo show because Bernardo's going to be at Magic Live while that happens, which is no big deal.
You're not going to Magic Live this year?
I'm not, because of the Oregon trip.
Okay.
So I'm doing Oregon that runs up and into Magic Live. There is temptation for me to fly from Oregon, from Portland, to Las Vegas for one night and then fly home from Las Vegas. I have not pulled the trigger on that yet. It's not the kind of thing I could do on the website. I got to call Southwest and be like, what is this going to cost me? Is it reasonable? Can I do it? So maybe I do like a night in Vegas. I'm not sure yet. But the solo show, one of the other things that you will see going up into the shop or will be at the shop is the Court of the Mind, Judge Mentalist t-shirt or whatever, T-Public does all this other swag. So if you want it on something else,
a coffee mug, or they do hats now.
We don't make a ton of money off of that stuff, but it's a little bit of jingle that shakes into our pocket, and you get a cool shirt or a cool hat or a cool, the hats are there now. iPhone cases, Android cases, whatever. If you come to one of my shows and you see me unloading stuff, including merch, I've got a laptop bag that has the Judge Mentalist logo on it. So I buy some of the stuff myself. But yeah, that'll be available. So
I know you have Bernardo Judge. We need a Big Sexy Judge 24.
Okay.
Yeah. Design. I don't know what the tagline will be.
Yeah, we got to figure out. Just safe travels.
Safe travels. Yeah. Yeah.
This is me actively typing a text of that campaign shirt that says Big Sexy instead of Bernardo, and the tagline at the bottom is safe travels.
Which I love the double entendre of all that. Right? If we're offering safe travels, don't vote for us, people.
Yeah.
I'd make a terrible president. I'd make a terrible president. One, because I hate politics and I think they're all trash. But don't give me that kind of power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially now, because apparently, according to the Supreme Court, if you were president, you could do crimes and it's okay.
It's okay. I just had to make it an official act.
I am officially president doing this horrible thing.
Yep. I am doing this under official guidelines. I'm ordering as an official act this department to be responsible for massaging my feet.
That's right.
At all hours of the night, whenever I want it. I'd be a terrible president. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to finding out what more stuff Europe does better than the US when I see more of Europe. And, I wouldn't mind a little bit of sense of, like, I tried to find a sense of pride when I got back the last time, right? When I got back and I was living in California, I kept going, okay, what is better here than was there? Or when we got back, like, what do I miss about the US that I'm here? What I miss about that today? And everything I came up was like shit, like food and Kool-Aid and like Vegas. Like I miss people and shows, right? But it had nothing to do with.
You got any of those people you want me to call? Because I'm pretty sure that all of your contacts are in my phone right now.
Oh, right. Yeah, we just hit that out. Actually, I need to go. You mentioned who is the most famous person in my phone, and I was looking, and I have to check to find out what happened. I'm missing contacts of people whose number I know were in my phone that don't seem to be in the contacts now. So I got to do some research and find out where those numbers are.
Yeah, it's weird because so some time ago, and again, we're going to stick with the theme of putting the juicy nuggets at the end of the episode. Thank you all for listening to the end here. I'm not going to name names in this, but some time ago, and I don't remember precisely when, I noticed a shit ton of extra contacts in my phone. And I'm guessing now that it was probably a year and a half ago, because I think that as I've noodled this out, that somehow by you and I both using that bigsexynomad@gmail.com, which is a great way to contact us about all sorts of anything you want to talk about. So please do bigsexynomad@gmail.com. it somehow downloaded it uploaded your contacts into it somehow, and then ended up downloading them into my contacts. And I couldn't tell. I just noticed just a shit ton of names that I didn't recognize in here, new contacts. And every so often I would click, I'm like, what is this? And I would click in. And the one thing that I noticed with a lot of them was a 702 area code, which is Las Vegas.
Right.
And probably most of Nevada. I don't know if it's more than that, but we've already talked about how everything is in Clark County. And I thought nothing of this. I'm like, whatever, some glitch somewhere, something got dumped into my phone, whatever. Because for the most part, I'm not scrolling through my contacts to find somebody. I'm typing their name in and it gets me where I need to go. So who cares? Yesterday or the day before, I get an email from TikTok. And it said, it's one of those normal automated type of, messages that comes through that's like, here are some people that you might want to add or follow or whatever the hell the terminology is on TikTok. And one of the people that it puts, and sometimes it will tell you why. There was a relatively famous person on that list. And then at the bottom, it said, this person's in your contacts. I'm like, this person's not in my contacts. I don't know this person. I know of this person. I know a lot of people who know this person. So curiosity got me. I start typing their name in. It's sure the fuck enough, it's there. This person's name and contact is in my phone, which is what prompted me. And then for whatever reason, I was like, you know what? This is what must have happened. So I messaged you and I'm like, who's the most famous person in your contacts? And you give me two names, and one of them was the name in question. And I'm like, that's got to be what happened.
Yeah, that made a ton of sense.
It which is funny into the Digital Nomad account because here's the thing: you're an Android user, right?
I am indeed.
So that is like all Google platform. So it merging itself with an account that is a Gmail account, bigsexynomad@gmail.com, makes a ton of sense. Why my phone decided to download all of that stuff and merge them into my contacts is beyond me, because you don't seem to have my contacts in your phone. It didn't go both ways.
No, it did not go both ways.
Yeah, that was interesting. So the juicy nugget at the end of the episode.
There it is. And what it really made me realize is I need to meet more famous people and get their numbers in my phone. Yeah,
we don't call people anymore.
No, as a matter of fact, we don't answer the phone either. When somebody calls, it's a scam.
The other day, and not during like normal business hours when she would have been calling people about sponsorships, my 16-year-old daughter's on the phone, and I look at her and I'm like, the fuck are you doing? You're 16. You don't call people on the phone. What are you doing, old lady? What are you doing?
It's crazy. Some people still do, or they do. A lot of it's FaceTime.
Yeah, I mean, in my office desk phone, I do it all the time. I'm calling people all the time.
Right.
Like I gotta hit do not disturb on this phone before we start recording the podcast. Otherwise, all you'll hear in the background is the damn phone ringing.
Right. Yeah,
I only want my entertainment career to be as busy as my fucking law practice.
And my phone rings. I'm what's that? Oh no, what's happening? What's that noise? Listeners, if you're in the US and you think US does some things better than Europe, shout us out. Tag us, let us know. Let's chop it up. Let's talk about what you think the US does better than Europe, or if there are other things that we missed that Europe does better than the US. Hit us up, let us know. Again, I'm really happy to be out here and experiencing it, and hopefully finding out these things and going, yeah, this is better. And I know there are things that I'm forgetting that I have said in passing, like, oh, this is so much better than the way they do it here than they do it back home, back in the US. So it's one of my favorite things to check out of the differences of, but there's so much that's also similar too. You know what I mean? As we were talking, like the fact that there are fast food chains out here that are, Americanized fast food chains, but yet the menu is different.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's That's better. And that you can't get like massive size of things here.
So, which is a good thing.
It's a good thing. Yeah, that's one thing that Europe does better than the US is no massive sizes.
So I sent the text to my wife that Spain BK has the chicken whopper, and the response that I got was, "Stop playing games with my heart."
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go out to the next Burger King that I see. I'm gonna take a picture of it and I'll send you a photo.
Sounds good. That'll really get the wheels rolling.
Yeah. Well, we already talked about our merch at whereisbigsexy.com. Swing on over to our Patreon at bullwiththebutthole.com. We'd appreciate you there.
Well, that was my there you go. Look, by the time you listen to this episode, not only is that Bernardo Judge 24 shirt going to be in the shop, but the Big Sexy Judge 24 shirt will be in the shop, probably with the slogan "Safe Travels" at the bottom. So, yeah.
So take a look at that, all that kind of stuff, and thank you guys for listening. This is a bank episode, so we're not doing any Patreon readings or anything like that. We'll hit the names of folks up in a future episode, or it may have been a past episode, depending on when we drop this or whatever. But time travel. But we'll shout out. But thank you to all our Patreon subscribers and followers. We appreciate and love you all. Please share with your friends and family. Let them know if what we do in this little corner of the internet with and podcasting, something they might be interested in, especially around traveling or experiences, anything they want to know, let us know. Again, we do this because we love to hear ourselves talk. We also do this because I love to hear other people talk and other people's stories and stuff like that. So we want to hear your stories of travel, good, bad, and different. Just hit us up with that information, and we'd love to hear it.
Yes, that's right.
But in the meantime,